How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new test hand video. Just a little over 2 weeks ago, I ended up filming a test hand video for Speedroids and ended up uploading it. Had some mixed thoughts with the deck, and it was really just my first time with that build, with Card Turbo, with the Wind Channeler. Really just a build that I threw together in the moment, just kind of off the top of my head, and wanted just to experiment with and see what felt like it was working well and what felt like it wasn't working. I've made just a few slight tweaks to the main deck. I've added in a third Card Turbo because I think playing 3 of these is just really good. I think seeing it more often is just better, and it does allow for a lot more synchro plays. And I've also added in Pot of Avarice because I just think this card is absolutely incredible in here. Really not so much change made in the extra deck. I know that the playing Halka Fiber Axe in Auroradon is always an option. I just don't like the fact that you sort of have to bypass Rubber Band Shooter's really good double normal summon effect just to make plays that are only a little bit better than you would be able to make without it by just going with Rubber Band Shooter. But then again, you have to add things like O-Lion and Deskbot 01 if you want to play that sort of turbo route. I'm just not too keen on it at the moment. I really just want to stick with keeping it with just Rubber Band Shooter and not having to worry about dodging being locked out of certain effects. Because granted, I would like to keep it all within engine because I still think there's very good potential. I think the only thing we're really missing are some better wind synchro monsters, and I think that will just have to come with time. But other than that, the main deck I think is pretty solid with all the support we've gotten. Really couldn't ask much more in terms of support in the main deck as far as Marble Machine is concerned. Same thing with the Wind Channeler. So you guys know how it goes. We're gonna do some test hands here. We're gonna do about 5 test hands or so going first. See what we can pull off. Try to learn some things and try to maybe make some tweaks to the deck after everything is said and done. I might show you guys just a whole wide shot of the entire deck list at the end, or it'll just be in the description below. So you want to see what the current list looks like. It'll be available at some point in this video or in the description. And also, if you guys want to see deck profile, whoops, I'm throwing cards here. If you guys want to see a deck profile, let me know in the comments or leave a like if you really want to see a deck profile. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll update it again for a little bit longer. Like I said, if you guys really want to see a deck profile, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I just don't want to put a Speedroid profile out there that nobody really wants to see, because that'll just save me time in the process. So let's go ahead and shuffle here. Well, we're all done shuffling, but let's go ahead and cut the deck, I should say, and draw and do our first hand. We have Speedroid Tacky Tomborg, Speedroid Horse Stilts, another Tacky Tomborg, another Speed Recovery, and a copy of Card Turbo. This hand is a little interesting. So normally, we could start with Horse Stilts and just go right into, per se, the Tacky Tomborg. But I really don't want to do that. I really want to save this Horse Stilts in hand for when we go for our Rubber Band Shooter play. So the only other way that this hand can play out is it's a little awkward either way. We can either burn our normal summon to save the special summon effect of Tacky Tomborg for later, and then special summon Card Turbo, and then sacrifice the special summon effect of Card Turbo for later, or we could normal summon Card Turbo and use the Tacky Tomborg now and grab something like Dendaiko Duke or the Red Eye Die. So it really just depends on what we value more, and I think I value more the Tacky Tomborg effect. So we'll normal Tacky Tomborg, we'll special summon Card Turbo, and it's also unfortunate here that we didn't open up something like Sting the Poison or Marble Machine. Those probably would have been much better openings. I want to get this on the table right now. I know a lot of people really like Tether Wolf. I just don't like it as much because I think the Insect engine, the Battle Wasp engine, is better, mainly because it's the same as the Tether Wolf engine, because it's giving you instant access to Rubber Band Shooter. Instead of getting a token on field, you're getting Pin the Bullseye to hand to summon instantly to make your Link 2. But the advantage you have with the Sting the Poison engine is that you're able to have a tuner on field, which makes Speed Lift live, which gives you just much better turns overall, because you're able to just get more more, you know, extenders on the field and in play, you know, instead like you would be able to otherwise. That's just why I like it more. If I could play 6 Sting the Poisons, I would. Maybe there's just more ways to like search Sting the Poison that I haven't found yet. Or maybe I'll just add in like, you know, 3 Tetherwolf or 3 Clock Wyvern alongside that. But then like, I just feel like the normal summons are just like through the roof, even with the Rubber Band Shooter able to fix that problem. I just don't know if it's like really worth it. So I just wanted to get that out of the table if that made any sense. But now we're just going to continue on here. We'll use the effect of Rubber Band Shooter. We're going to go ahead and banish the Clearwing Synchro Dragon. And we're going to go ahead and reveal a, where is it? A Terror Top and a copy of Double Yo-Yo. And we'll see which one we get to our hand. It really doesn't make too big of a difference. Double Yo-Yo will be even. Terror Top will be odd. We roll a 5, so we get the Terror Top to our hand. We use our additional normal summon here to summon Horse Stilts. And with that, we'll special summon the Terror Top from our hand, and we'll use Terror Top's effect here. And again, this is where I said earlier, we would grab Car Turbo, but we've already exhausted Car Turbo, so we're just going to go ahead and grab a copy of Rubber Band Plane. Since we already have Teke Tomborg in hand, we'll special summon Teke Tomborg, and with it, we'll special summon the Rubber Band Plane. Here, we'll tag this out and go for a copy of the Red-Eyed Die. Or we could go for the Dendaiko Duke and make a 7 here. And then Dendaiko Duke can bring back the Car Turbo and make a 6. Or we could go for a Stardust Warrior and then follow up with the Speed Recovery, I guess. It's just... Yeah, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. We'll go ahead and summon out Dendaiko Duke, because I think we'll get like just a smidgen more value out of the Dendaiko Duke. And granted, I guess we didn't need to add Rubber Band Plane here. We could have added like Marble Machine earlier. It's just whether or not this will actually be useful this turn. So we're going to go ahead and synchro these two into a copy of, let's see, if there was a level 7 Speedroid monster or a synchro that we could go into right now, that'd be fantastic, because we'd be able to manipulate its level with Red-Eye Die if we had access to it. But that's just a little something. So now we're going to go ahead and burn Speed Recovery here. We're going to summon the Dendaiko Duke back. Doesn't matter, we could go with Car Turbo or Dendaiko Duke. It doesn't make too big of a difference. We'll go with the Stardust Warrior. We'll put that in defense position for Lightning Storm. Then we can go ahead and Speed Recovery here and bring back... or we already Speed Recovered, my bad. Now we'll Dendaiko Duke and we'll target the Car Turbo. And we can go ahead and synchro these two into copy of either Stardust Charge Warrior or Adamancipator Risen Raptite, which I will go for the Raptite. So yeah, we didn't actually end up needing that, so we could just go for the Marble Machine to have as a normal summon for next turn. And I think that is a pretty decent turn, to be totally fair. And it gets a lot more better, like, it's a lot better than it actually looks, I guess. I'm having a hard time speaking right now. I apologize, I'm recording this video pretty late at night. So do bear with me. But we have Speed Recovery engraved, we have Wind Pegasus, and we have Horse Stilts engraved. So we have like we have 3 follow-up plays in our graveyard for next turn. We have a Walking Call by the Grave at 2800 fence, and we have a Solemn Strike on the board as well, or Solemn Warning, I should say, to stop special summons, inherent special summons. And we have a good normal summon for next turn also. Not too bad of a hand. I'm going to go ahead and reset everything, and we'll go ahead and draw into our next test hand. All right, enough shuffling. Let's go ahead and draw into our next test hand of the video. Opening Double Yo-Yo, Speed Lift, Pot of Avarice, copy of Call by the Grave, and our final card is Win the Wind Channeler. So I got to say that this card is going to come in absolutely omega clutch here, because we're going to have to get started by pitching both the Win the Wind Channeler and the Double Yo-Yo to the graveyard to go grab none of them Sting the Poison. We have Speed Lift also, which is incredible. But the bittersweet thing is the fact that we had to discard Double Yo-Yo to get this whole play starting. And for those that have been paying attention to Speedroid, Double Yo-Yo is a pretty important card to have in the deck for our Rubber Band Shooter play. So we're going to have to sort of come up with something else on the fly. And if they had an Ash or something, or they have a Valor or whatever, we have a Call by the Grave, luckily. So we're going to start with the Sting the Poison. We're going to grab Pin the Bullseye. Luckily, it's right on the bottom of the deck. And we're going to go ahead and Speed Lift. And we're going to Speed Lift out for Dendaiko Duke. because I believe this is how I've usually done the combo in the past. Then we'll special summon the Pin the Bullseye. And then we're gonna go ahead and link these two into a copy of Rubber Band Shooter. So there's like a few options we have here. We can sort of do like the desperation play and link these off for another Rubber Band Shooter, and then use its then use Avarice, then use its effect to get double yo-yo. But I don't really think that's like worth doing because we don't have Horse Stilts in hand, and that won't guarantee us anything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use its effect, and I'm gonna just go ahead and reveal the sort of the classic thing to reveal. I guess not super classic, I guess here. Double yo-yo, her Horse Stilts isn't gonna get us so much. I guess we kind of want to reveal like, maybe banishing a 7 here is not the best idea. We might even want to banish a 6 because we could do like a 2, or we could banish a 5. But I definitely want to try to get Marble Machine to the hand, because what will Marble Machine pair well with? I guess Terror Top. So I guess we want to banish a 5, which means I guess we're gonna have to banish Chambara, which is a little unfortunate because Chambara is a pretty good card to have, especially with Card Turbo. The OTKs get a lot easier with this deck, as I've found in testing. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and reveal both the Terror Top and the Marble Machine. We'll go ahead and roll the die here. Odd on the Terror Top, even on the Marble Machine. Even, we get the Marble Machine to the hand, and the Terror Top goes to the grave. So now we can go ahead and Avarice, and maybe we'll get lucky here and draw something good. Yeah, this is a very unlucky situation. I mean, the wind channeler, it saved us, but it also was, again, bittersweet because we had to discard that. If we would just open up any other wind monster there, we would have been in a much better off position. We'd be in like a really, really good position. So let's see what we can draw into here. We draw into Horse Stilts and a copy of Double Yo-Yo. Doesn't get much more ironic than that. So what can you do, right? So let's go ahead and use the extra normal summon effect here. We'll use Horse Stilts, and then Horse Stilts will summon out the Marble Machine. We'll activate Marble Machine here. Don't want to go for the Terror Top. We'll go for the Teke Tomborg, and then we'll summon Teke Tomborg and send that off for either the Dendaiko Duke or the Red-Eyed Die. We don't have any revival spells in the grave, or revival spells available, or in an access to Dendaiko Duke and Red-Eyed Die, so we do have to choose one or the other here. So as it stands, we could synchro these into Raptite and also summon the Red-Eyed Die here, make this a level 6, and make like Clearwing Fast Dragon. I really think that's the only play that we have currently. Or we could make Martial Metal Marcher and then bring back out the Red-Eyed Die. Yeah, so we have a few options here. Not all of them are that great. We can either make the Stardust Charge Warrior with these two, try to pick up another extender in the form of a revival spell, which is sort of likely. Or what we could do is synchro these two into Raptite, and then on the summon here, because we're still debating on what level we're gonna make this Marble Machine, we can make this a 5 to go for a 6. We could make it a 6 to go for a 7. We could go for Marcher to bring it back, and then to make this and the Red-Eyed Die that we bring back for Higoita to make Crystal Wing, but that leaves the Sting the Poison there. So I think what we're gonna do is just make this a level 6. We'll synchro these into a level 7, and we can go for Clearwing Fast Dragon, as I feel like it's a little more relevant than that of the Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and then we'll synchro these two again in either the Charge Warrior or that of the Adamancipator Risen Raptite. So we can go for that, and that pretty much will round out this entire play. We can set Call by the Grave and pass it over to them if we did not use it, of course. And next turn we're drawing the Wind Channeler, which isn't so bad. We probably won't use it unless our Rubber Band Shooter survives the turn. We can use it just to get an extra card to our hand to pitch this to get whatever we need. We do have the Double Yo-Yo as a follow-up, which is great because we can use that to bring out pretty much anything we need in the graveyard. Teke Tomborg probably. So yeah, let's go ahead and reset the deck here and go into another test hand. All right, deck shuffled. Let's see what we can pick up for this turn. We have a copy of Dendaiko Duke, Speed Lift, Pin the Bullseye, Call by the Grave, Red-Eyed Die. So not the best hand. We've definitely drawn better, but I would say it's probably a little bit better than the previous hand we opened. So I'm going to go ahead and normal summon the Dendaiko Duke, and we're just going to go ahead and throw out the Speed Lift and go ahead and summon out. What exactly do we want in the graveyard here? What would be a good graveyard setup? We already have Red-Eyed Die in hand. I mean, we could go for Teke Tomborg, but I'd rather hold the Teke Tomborg for a little bit later if possible. Let's go ahead and just do a Car Turbo here. We'll summon out a Car Turbo, and then we're going to go ahead and just link these two into a copy of none other than the High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. We'll go ahead and use its effect here. We'll banish a level 7. We'll banish that Clearwing Synchro Dragon as per usual. And we'll go ahead and reveal the double yo-yo and the Terror Top. And we'll go ahead and mix these up. I guess it doesn't matter. Odd, even. We get odd. We get the double yo-yo to the hand, which is perfect. So we use our extra normal summon here on the double yo-yo. That's going to revive the Terror Top. Terror Top's effect will activate. We're going to go ahead and grab Teke Tomborg. We'll special summon Teke Tomborg, and that will summon out. We can go for a Red-Eyed Die here since we already have a Dendaiko Duke set up in the grave. So we'll go for that. And we'll target Terror Top, make it a level 2. And then we're going to go ahead and synchro with the Terror Top and the Red-Eyed Die. For Hagoita, this is a pretty standard combo that I usually find myself doing most of the time. That is not Hagoita. We're supposed to make Martial Metal Marcher here, my bad. That's going to bring this back. And we'll synchro with these into Hagoita. And now we're going to synchro with these. Go ahead and go into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, our first one here. And then we'll go ahead and use, let's see here, the Dendaiko Duke Engrave. And we'll bring back Car Turbo here, which is great. It's actually good that I set that up. And then we can bring the Hagoita out of the grave via its own effect and synchro with these two for a second copy of Crystal Wing. So yeah, it's actually really good that we got that Car Turbo out of the deck first, because the thing is, with the Red-Eyed Die is great in a lot of situations, but one, it really wouldn't have helped us get to Crystal Wing, because we can only make something a level 6, and with it being level 1, obviously we can only get to level 7. Otherwise, we need another extender to bring it back out again. But Car Turbo being a fixed level 3 tuner, really helpful there to get to the double Crystal Wing with this hand that seemingly wasn't so great. And that was really just off of Dendaiko Duke and a Speed Lift with decent luck off of our double yo-yo, which is not so bad at all. We had a Call by the Grave in hand for that and everything. We even opened the trusty Pin the Bullseye. So yeah, let's go ahead and reset. I think that was probably the most positive thing to come out of this entire test hand video so far, is ending on double Crystal Wing, just out of a really not so great hand there. Granted, we had a little luck, but at least we have some ways to deal with the luck and put it a little bit in our favor if possible, thanks to the the horse stilts. If we were able to see that card there instead of something per se like Sting the Poison, we could have had a really solid turn, sort of devoid of luck. All right, so the deck has been shuffled. Let's go ahead and draw into, I believe, our 4th test hand of the video, where we have Win the Wind Channeler, Call by the Grave, Dendaiko Duke, Rubber Band Plane, and a copy of Double Yo-Yo. Not the greatest card to have there, but we'll take it. We will most certainly take it. I guess if we open Double Yo-Yo, it's not so bad. We just kind of have to reverse what we do with our Rubber Band Shooter. Just, going back to that second hand we had, we just had no choice in terms of what to have. We had to discard off our Win the Wind Channeler. So we're going to use Win right now. We're going to discard itself and that copy of Dendaiko Duke. And we're going to go ahead and search out. We'll go ahead and go for Sting the Poison here. And then we'll normal Sting the Poison. We'll search out Pin the Bullseye. The only thing that would make this hand better would be a nice copy of Speed Lift. But we'll summon Pin the Bullseye. Then we're going to go ahead and link these two off. Or we can make Martial Metal Marcher, but I don't really think there's a reason to do that. We'll go ahead and make the High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. We're going to banish level 7 here. Now, like I said, we're going to have to do this sort of in reverse order here. We're going to go ahead and reveal Horse Stilts and Terror Top. If we get Horse Stilts, it's gonna suck. If we get Terror Top, it's not gonna suck. Actually, no. If we get Horse Stilts, we're fine because Terror Top will go to the grave and we can just normal summon double Yo-Yo. But if we get Terror Top, we're kind of in a worse off position. Yeah, so we're just gonna have to try our luck here and hopefully get what we need. But I don't really see too much of a better option and other card choices, I guess. So we'll go Terror Top odd, Horse Stilts even. So we do get Horse Stilts to hand, which is actually what we wanted. So now we'll normal the double Yo-Yo or extra normal on the double Yo-Yo for Terror Top. And then when Terror Top will add us, yeah, so we just needed a little bit of a luck on our side there with this hand, which isn't always, look at all three Terror Tops right together there. Then we'll add the Tekkatomborg. We'll add the Tekkatomborg, tribute it off. We have a few options here. We can go for Red Eye Die, or we can go for Card Turbo. Both will offer their own advantages. But we don't have access to both of them, so it's unfortunate. I do really always have to prioritize Red Eye Die over any other tuner, just because it gives us the ability to manipulate levels, and with it, you know, just more better varying plays. So we use the Red Eye Die to target the Terror Top, make it a level 2. We'll synchro with these two guys here into a copy of Martial Metal Marcher. We'll use its effect to revive the Red Eye Die, and with it, we'll synchro those two into a copy of Hagoita. Then we'll synchro the Hagoita and the Martial Metal Marcher into a copy of Crystalling. And then we're going to go ahead and use Dendaiko Duke and Grave here to go ahead and special summon Red Eye Die. And then once Red Eye Die is back on the field, we can use Hagoita to bring itself back out. We could use, actually, we could use Rubber Band Plane here, but I just don't think there's much we can get off of it. Yeah, I don't think there's much we can get off of it, unfortunately, at the moment. Yeah, I don't think there's much we can get from it. But that's fine, because we can still go ahead and synchro into a level 6. We could go for Charge Warrior if we're feeling lucky, and try to rip like a Revival spell off the top of the deck to get us into a level 7. But would we even draw it? No, we would not. But obviously, I think it's always safer to go with the Raptite. If we had other extenders in hand, I would definitely go for the Charge Warrior, take the free draw, whatever it may be, then use our extender to take our Charge Warrior up into something else like Clearwing Fast Dragon, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, or Wind Pegasus at Ignister if we could follow that up into something like a Crystal Wing, or even something like Stardust Warrior. So that's just sort of how I would prioritize those things. I would never go for the Charge Warrior to try to draw the one of, because, I mean, by this means example, we would have drawn another Horse Stilts, which is not good. So you're better off just, you know, stopping while you can and just go for the Raptite. And I'm so glad there's actually a decent, good level 6 Wind in this extra deck now, because otherwise we would just make a Charge Warrior who sits there and does nothing, but the Raptite at least can offer some defense. And of course, we do have some graveyard set up for next turn. So not a terrible test hand here. We'll go ahead and recycle or reset everything and then redraw our last 5-card hand of the video. All right, everything has been reset and reshuffled. Let's draw into our opening hand here. Copy of Speed Recovery, copy of Horse Stilts, copy of Card Turbo. Looking so far so good. Dendaiko Duke, and our last card is a copy of Speed Lift. This hand is looking like it could be possibly the best hand of the video, and you know, I guess save best for last. So we're gonna normal Dendaiko Duke, and we're gonna go ahead and get the Speed Lift going here. And since we already have Card Turbo in hand, I'm gonna go easily here for Red Eye Die. We're not gonna use its effect, because we really don't need to. And then we're just gonna link these two into the High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. Now, like, this is why I've come around a lot on Speed Lift. I used to absolutely hate this card. I never could understand why anybody would play this card in Speedroid, but I've come around on it so much through all the testing. Like, just getting like this graveyard set up is just so huge. And like, it just generates so much more advantage than just going into Rubber Band Shooter with something like Tether Wolf or Clock Wyvern. You just really are missing out on so much. The only thing that is pretty bad is that, like, you know, having good prioritized normal summon tuner monsters that aren't going to break your hand so much, and then, you know, having to open this card, which there's no way to search Speed Lift, unfortunately. But like, it's so good. I just wish it was more consistent. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use the effective rubber band shooter here, and we'll banish the Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. And with it, we're gonna go ahead and do Terror Top Double Yo-Yo. Look at that, they're right next to each other, perfect. Yo-Yo will be odd, Terror Top even. Yo-Yo will be odd, Terror Top even. So Terror Top goes to hand, but that's fine because we have the Horror Stilt. So we'll use our additional normal summon on the Horror Stilt. So that will summon out the Terror Top from hand. And with it, we'll use Terror Top's effect to grab Teki Tomborg, and Teki Tomborg will tag out for another Red-Eyed Die, just so we can take advantage again of the level manipulation effect. So we'll summon that to the field. And here we have quite a few options. There's a lot of options on the table, but I think I'm gonna start with a Terror Top and make it a level 2 for that all-important Martial Metal Marcher play. We'll use its effect here to revive Red-Eyed Die from the grave, and with it, we'll go ahead and synchro these two into a copy of High Speedroid Hagoita. Now, before we go any further, I'm gonna go ahead and put this Car Turbo on the field. I guess it doesn't make such a big difference, but I'll go ahead and do it anyways. And we're gonna go ahead and synchro those off into our first Crystal Wing. We'll put that right there. We control a Speedroid tuner, so we'll use Hagoita to put itself back on the field, and we'll synchro these into another Crystal Wing. And we still have speed recovery, which is absolutely huge here. So we're gonna use speed recovery on that Hagoita, and then we're gonna go ahead and use the Dendaiko Duke in the graveyard to banish itself and summon a Red-Eyed Die, and with it, we'll use it to change the level of Hagoita to a 6, and we'll synchro for our last synchro monster, a level 7, which is gonna be none other than the Clearwing Fast Dragon. And just like that, we've ended on double Crystal Wing, Clearwing Fast Dragon, and I think that's really about all we can do there. I think that's like literally the limits of this deck that you just witnessed. There's probably like 10 other things we could have done with that hand, but I think that is what I'm happy with. 2 monster negates and the stop of an extra deck monster. Not so terrible. And we're safe from Lightning Storm because everything's in defense. Just we're hoping they don't have Forbidden Droplet, Triple Tactics Talent, and we're also hoping they don't have Dark Ruler no more because we don't have a way to negate any spells or traps. I just hope Konami gives this deck a synchro, wind synchro that can negate spells or traps, because that's, I think, really what we need. But yeah, I think that's about it. And if we were going second, you know, we have the ability to use Car Turbo to banish it and say like another Speedroid like Teki Tomborg, boost everything up by 800 across the board, and that's a lot of damage. But yeah, I think that's a solid note to end our test hands on. And now I'm going to tack something on to the end of this test hand video that I haven't really done before. And that's just kind of looking at the entire build overall and just sort of give my thoughts on where the build is at currently. Sort of like a shorter, you know, I guess like an in conclusion type thing with our build. So I'm going to go ahead and sort this out, and we'll get over to that part of the video. All right, so this is the build that I used in this video. 3 Sting, 3 Win, 3 Car Turbo, 3 Marble Machine, 3 Horse Stilts, 3 Teki Tomborg, 2 Dendaiko Duke, 2 Red-Eyed Die, 1 Rubber Band Plane, double Yo-Yo Terror Top, Pin the Bullseye, 3 Recovery, 3 Lift, 3 Call By, 1 Avarice, 1 Goblin, 1 Succession, 1 Reborn, and 1 1-for-1. I wanted to try, this isn't Foolish Burial, although I do kind of want to try a second Avarice, but I do want to try a Foolish Burial because I think you guys all saw earlier how clutch it was having a Car Turbo pre-set up in the grave. And not only that, having Foolish Burial at any point after turn 1 could be pretty beneficial to get Car Turbo to the graveyard for that damage boost that it can offer. And that damage boost is very relevant, believe me, when paired with that of the Chanbara. When paired with Chanbara. Chanbara goes up to 3k, then 32. That's 6,200 damage alone. Which is incredible. And then you pair that with a boosted, rubber band shooter at 18, that is game outright. So that's just OTK in a nutshell. But like I said, the 3 Sting the Poison I think is incredible. If there's a way that I can search that card, other than Win the Wind Channel, which, I mean, thank God for this card, because I basically can play 6 Sting the Poison. Because I think having Sting the Poison, well, it's not so much more different than that of, say, Tetherwolf or Clockwyvern. It's just so much more compatible with Speedlift. I would just rather play, normal summons that do like accomplish the same things of Clock Wyvern and that of Tetherwolf, but just also give me the option to have that, you know, extra power play with Speedlift, because I think it's so important. Again, you do have Marble Machine, which is like another primary normal summon, and the fact that that can get you something like Card Turbo just to summon to the field. But I think like that's one of the weaker starters, because I don't feel you know, too good about burning Teke Tomberg early. I like using it sort of after I've resolved my you know, Rubber Band Shooter and gotten it off Terror Top, and then going from there, because you know, you already have like a 4 or 3 and you're like kind of just choosing what tuner you want to summon out, because if you use Teke Tomberg early, you know, it's a use it or lose it type thing, because if you're grabbing off Marble Machine, you summon it. If you link it off without using it, you won't be able to get back on the field because you only special summon Teke Tomberg once per turn. So you have to use it right then and there. And if you do go for Red Eye Die, you're sort of sacrificing its level manipulation effect, or you're going for Dendaiko Duke, which you may not have any other tuners already set up, and you're just linking that off into the grave already. So I'm not sure. Marble Machine is a great card. I just wish it was, you know, more copies of Sting the Poison, or if this card was a tuner, it would be absolutely bonkers. But it is pretty good as is, I will admit. Card Turbo I think is absolutely clutch. There's really not much else I think I would change in here currently. Like I said, the only thing I might consider adding in is like maybe a Foolish Burial and a second Pot of Avarice. But there's really not much else that I think I want to do. Just Speedlift is incredible. If there was a way to search this, I think this deck would be a lot better. I think we've had more Spell Trap Negation in the extra deck, would be a lot better off. But I think this is pretty much solid for now. I won't dive too much into the extra deck because it's pretty standard. But this is the list that I used for this video. Might tweak it a little bit more before the deck profile. But you guys, again, we'll see a deck profile soon if you guys want to see one. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see an updated deck profile for Speedroid. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Imperium Duelist, and my affiliate link to TCG Player down in the description below. Also, another thing real quick, I guess, is I might try to add in more revival spells. The only problem with that is they just make bad hands worse. Speed Recovery is already such a fantastic card. I just don't draw the card enough, unfortunately. Maybe I'll exchange the Upstart for like another World Legacy Succession, because that's the really only thing I could do is like change this and this for World Legacy Succession, max out on that, because you're pretty much always going to be able to get into the Rubber Band Shooter to make it live. But then again, in situations where you can't get into this, you know, Succession's only going to make those situations worse. But like I said, that's like the only thing I might change. I realize there's no cards in here to combat combo, but this really isn't a meta deck currently. So I'm not really trying to make it so competitive more than I am trying to make it, you know, just a fun and enjoyable deck to play that can possibly compete at some lower levels. But yeah, then to each their own. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, WinnerKiller signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And a huge thank you, as always, to my Divine Level channel members here on YouTube, Academic Thick, Travis Harris, and Zors. Thank you guys so much for continuing to generously support the channel.